Hi guys, and welcome and good evening to the Pure Energy Healing Academy here in the Costa del Sol in the magical mountains of Mijas Pueblo. Tonight's a beautiful night because I had a few messages about a certain subject which is fairly deep. I'm not going to be able to talk about it for so long because it's such a diverse topic, and there's so many unusual reasons why this topic could be talked about for days. But I will give you a few of my thoughts and feelings over the years of what I've seen, personally seen, and my own personal experience too, as well as clients. So, what is tonight all about? Sleep paralysis. Have any of you ever heard of this before? There is a few, in my humble opinion, misconceptions to this particular phenomena, and I'm going to try and break the walls down tonight and try and help a few of you understand, because it's not always what you think. And that's a lot of the times with all kinds of spiritual phenomena, things that you would possibly think is real, and then you find out it's not real. And then I want everything to be real. I want everything to be mystical and magical, but then you've got to understand that, it's so important to have your head screwed on. It's so important to look at all aspects, because too many people just believe, and that's not healthy. Because when I say believe, I mean believe in the magic, but it's also very, very important to see what you see and really use your logic as well. So the combination there is, when you use your logic, you're not just falling for any trick, any falseness, or any kind of illusion. For me, I've spent 14 years and I've got a keen eye. I watch, and I'm not stupid. I see things, and certain people use their trickery all the time to try and woo people into their family and their cults and what have you. And I don't buy into any of those things. But I tell you what, when I was a little boy, I used to wake up around about 2 o'clock in the morning. And it was a very, very frightening experience. And this happened for many years. I never even told my brothers. My two brothers were in the same bedroom as me, because they had their separate beds and I had my bed here. But I never even mentioned it to them. But if they look back now and see why I ran out of the bedroom in the middle of the night and ran into my mum and dad's bed, and I was shaking next to my mum, and she'd calm me down and I'd be okay. My mum was very religious, in the sense that she was a Catholic, and things like that I don't think they kind of really looked at as something that was very important or part of the way of life. But for me, it was very real and a very real experience. And what happened to me was, predominantly I'd fall asleep and wake up very quickly. And one of two things often happened. The first thing that would happen is I would have a great sense of something in the bedroom, and normally at the foot of my bed. And it was dark, I couldn't see anything, but I sensed somebody or something at the bottom of my bed. It wasn't that I would say it was a burglar, but it was somebody watching me. Now, if you've never experienced it before, guys, it's terrifying. It's absolutely terrifying. Why? Because we have never been introduced to the world of spirit. Now, imagine that you're a little boy and your mother says, no, it's fine, darling. This is somebody who is here in the home, and they're in another world, and they come and look after you and watch over you. All of a sudden, you're starting to understand what this means. Now, there are people in this world who share this truth with their children. And a lot of the children who come to me over these 14 years, I've had to explain to them all about spirit, and that they're not going crazy, that they do see spirit and they do talk to them. And the most important thing is that you're perfectly normal. You're very special, you're gifted, you see wonderful things, and we help children find the acceptance of this phenomena, which is very rare for a lot of us. So you might say, well, I've never felt that. Well, that's okay, you didn't feel it, but just because you didn't feel it doesn't mean that somebody else hasn't. And trust me, I felt it. Now, there were times that I would wake up and feel an immense pressure on my chest. It's like somebody pushing me down. So nobody's there, but it feels like somebody's just pushing me into the bed. And that pressure is genuine. It isn't false. It isn't an illusion. It isn't my mind thinking these things. You can feel it. And if you've had this before, guys, you'll know that you'll have no breath. That's normally a sign that it's spirit putting their energy into you or on you. Now, we would look at that as one of two things. We are being attacked or hurt. But in truth, that's not always the case, because we don't really truly know when spirit comes into us how that energy is going to affect us. We do know as pure energy healers working here that when we step out of the way, spirit comes into our we call it a vessel. We're a vessel, okay? Our spirit is different from this body. So a pure energy healer steps out of the way and allows this energy to flow through us. But when you are actually in your energy, life force, and spirit comes in, it can be very, very traumatic for people who have never experienced it before, and it can take your breath away. Now, there's the other phenomena of where you feel that you cannot move. You're in almost like you're paralyzed. Now, there is two things to this. It gets really complicated here. And one is when spirit attaches to you and comes into your energy and you feel paralyzed, one of the things I often believe is that the spirit trapped, this is spirit trapped in between two worlds. It's not spirit that comes forward who is in the light. It's a different energy, because when we're working as pure energy healers, the people who cut it gets complicated, right? But imagine there's another world, and this other world where they go home, it's our home, that's called the light. This is how we relate to it, because it's pure. When a pure energy healer opens up and steps out of the way, this beautiful light, this energy pours through and heals, so there's no effect, no pain, no suffering. And the reason why that is because when we've gone home, there's no suffering. We are at peace. We are in the light. We are clear. We are pure. There's no thought of feeling of negativity, issues, worries, and pains and sufferings. However, if you are spirit trapped in between two worlds, that you haven't fully gone home, but you're in between this world and the spirit world, then you still carry issue, problem, negative energy, fears, worries that is still attached to you. So when spirit, which is trapped in between two worlds, attaches to you or comes to you, you can sometimes feel their energy. And here's the thing, that energy can give you the same fear as they have. Now, sometimes it feels like you're being attacked, and some people will often say that they've been flipped over in the bed. Now, this is a phenomenon which is very rare, but I have met many people who swear with their hand on their heart that they have been lifted and flipped. So, I don't know about that, but what I do know is when somebody's lying down on the bed and they have come to me and they have what I call a spirit trapped in between two worlds attachment, things happen on the bed that they can lift their body, and their body almost like goes into spasm, and it almost looks like they're flipping, because they are really, because their body's flying up, and sometimes they can fly to the side or to the other side. So in truth, I do believe that there is such thing as what you and I would name as I don't even want to name it that. I just want to name it this. In fact, let me start from the beginning with this. I think that we have got it all wrong. I don't believe that spirit trapped in between two worlds wants to hurt you or I. I believe that they are in a place of confusion. They're lost, they're fearful, they turn away from the light, they are in guilt, they feel terrible. And I think predominantly when that happens, when we have an attachment like that, it is simply fear energy that causes this phenomena, this energy of utmost power that can make us react in a certain way. I've said this and I'll say it again. I have never met one person who's ever been hurt physically in this kind of work. They have been emotionally traumatized, but it doesn't last. And it stays with them and they'll remember it, like it has done me twice, because it's happened to me twice. But I don't believe, in fact, I'll tell you what scares me most of all in this world are people out there in the real world. They frighten me more than spirit trapped in between two worlds. I've never heard of a spirit killing anybody. So for me, I think I would say yes. I believe that the paralysis you feel is partly spirit trapped in between two worlds and our fear of this, which may create or seem as if we cannot move. You know, I'll give you another for instance. That phenomena, if you think about this, I remember nearly being run over. And if anybody has been in a situation where something so traumatic happens, like they stand still and all of a sudden something's going to happen to them, or they're in a car accident or something like that, anybody will tell you that they go into this I can't move. It's like, oh, I'm frozen. So that kind of tells me it's very similar to the energy of spirit attaching to you in this fear, and you're frozen. So I think it's kind of a shock energy to our body that we have this paralysis kind of effect. But I think tonight's message is it's very rare and it doesn't hurt anybody. You may find yourself moving slightly or not moving or feeling pressure. But at the end of the day, if you really want to truly know how to open up, it is really important that we remember, because most of this paralysis and this fear is all based on the not knowing. And I daren't move any further forward, Mark, because I've had this happen to me before. This is what I get all the time. Sleep paralysis. I'm frightened of moving forward and opening up to the spirit world. You know what? I would never, ever ask you to open up to the spirit world if I thought that this is something that will affect you and hurt you. All I believe is this. It is a rare phenomena. It doesn't happen. I mean, in the time I've spent with thousands of clients, it's been a handful of times that this has happened. And it's never actually caused a long-term effect at all. Yes, the memory is there and you remember it, but it doesn't affect you in a physical or a mental or an emotional manner. It's just a feeling that you feel and you get, and it's like having a shock. But you know what? It would never stop me after having two spirits that were trapped in between two worlds enter me. I cleansed and cleared them away with the help of a friend the first time, and the second time it went. Sage is easy. Use sage. And I think that's it really. It's not a big deal. If you keep sage with you and burn it before you want to go into the state of spiritual awareness and awakening, then you've cracked it, because spirit trapped in between two worlds comes nowhere near sage when it's burnt properly. It clears any kind of spirit trapped in between two worlds out of any property. So I guess really after saying all that, maybe the answer is that. And that is, if you want to open up but you're frightened of opening up to the spirit world, then go to my second video after the lemon video. Watch how you sage your home or your business, wherever you want to do it. Sage the place out, and then begin your spiritual journey with the beautiful light and the connection of the spirit world and the connection of your higher self. Because when I share my message with you guys, it isn't about for you to connect to the spirit world, it's about for you to connect to yourself, your higher self. And I think the spirit world isn't there waiting for you to connect with them, but they're waiting for you to connect to yourself, your higher self. So don't ever get it in your head that you're doing this to connect with the spirit world. You're doing it to connect to your higher self, which means that you will self-heal, you will become more awakened, you will become more psychic, more of a healer, more of an empath, more of a kind and caring soul. Win-win situation all the time. So don't let a 1% of what I've talked about stop you from being the most amazing soul in the world. Okay, we could walk out of the door and get run over by a bus tomorrow, you know what I mean? So don't let things bother you. We're here for a long time. You're here for a long time. If you're watching this, it's probably because you're ready now to take the next step forward. So get some sage next to you, burn it. Make sure you watch the video on YouTube about burning sage on my YouTube channel, and then you've cracked it. Get going, and always remember, you're a good soul, you're a kind soul, you're a caring soul. If you are of utmost love when you do this work, you will only ever receive pure white love, light, happiness, kindness, and the right energy. If you're in a bad place, if you feel sad, if you feel angry, if you feel depressed, if you feel emotionally run down, if you feel physically ill, don't do it. Don't do it. Wait till you feel better. Wait till you feel stronger. Wait till you feel happier. So I would suggest, if you are in a bad place, then learn to meditate, learn to clear all the bad things around you, all the people who cause you issue. Learn to become stronger, take responsibility, eat correctly, eat foods, fruit and vegetables, drink lots of water, start to look after yourself. That is the first step towards spiritual awakening. Okay, I could talk for hours and hours on this subject, you can tell, right? I love talking about this subject, and any questions you might have for me, fire away. I'll try and answer them on a few other videos. I hope this has helped a little bit. Don't ever let your mind or Hollywood tell you that opening up to your higher self has dangers. It doesn't, guys. The only danger there is in this world is what's outside there, and people walking around frighten me a lot more than the spirit world. Okay, that's it really, guys. I hope I've explained a little bit to you about sleep paralysis, but you know what? It's all good. It's all positive. And I'd rather experience that than not, because it makes me a more wiser soul at the end of the day to be able to share with other people to help them. Just so you know, I love you all from my heart to yours. Thank you for watching. Take care. Night night. Sleep well.